If you're listening to this, then that means you have attended one of my shows on the Storyteller Unplugged Tour. So for that, I would like to say thank you, first of all. Thank you so much. I hope that you had a great time at the show, as I'm going to assume you're probably listening to this after, unless you decided to listen to it during the show, which is totally cool with me. But I just want to say thank you so much, because the Storyteller Tour is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's, well, right now I guess I haven't left for it yet. As I'm recording this, I'm still at my house here in Ontario, Canada. I haven't left yet. I'm leaving in about 10 days from when I record this. So by the time you get this, I'll obviously be on tour. But it's something that I've been putting a lot of my, mind power into, and a lot of my thoughts into for the last, few months, and I am excited. So anyway, I hope that you had a great time at the show. Thank you again for being there. So now let me talk a little bit about what you're about to hear, what I'm about to do here. So when I had the idea for this Storyteller Tour, I thought it would be cool, because the whole idea of this tour for me, and again, I'm gonna see how it goes when I get there, but I want to create that feeling of intimacy, that I get when I play at like a super small venue, or outside a venue, or at a coffee shop. I want to create that, for everyone, even if the shows are bigger. And the whole point of this is just really to hang out, and I want to share as much of my life as possible with you, right in front of you. And I want you guys to feel like you can do the same. And my hopes are that we just have some great conversation, and that we kind of, talk about some things that make us feel more connected, and just like break the ice. And that's my whole goal. I want everyone, in whatever show you're at, wherever you are, even if you're listening to this, not, you didn't get to come to the tour and somehow you got this, that's cool. My whole point is just like, I want everyone to feel connected, because a lot of times, when you go to a show or you go somewhere, like I struggle. I have anxiety for sure. Like I've always had it, and this isn't about anxiety. It's not about like the negative thing. I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of times, especially in the world we live in, a lot of us are kind of insecure. We're kind of like second, we're very like, it's not as easy to talk to people as I think we wish it was. So my whole point is that, even if we're all strangers and we're in the same room, I just want us to all feel connected somehow. Okay, so that's kind of my whole idea for this tour. So right now, I was thinking, like, okay, what am I going to do for the Storyteller EP? Because I really want it. I don't know. I don't want it to be forced. I just want it to be I don't want it to be like a traditional, I'm just going to, whip a few songs together for this tour so I can give people something. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I want to do something cool. I just want to give people like a download, of just me, like telling some story, like talking about my life, talking about whatever I feel. So I was like kind of thinking about it, and like I just did this like tiny meditation, and I'm still like getting over a cold. So I was just like, man, I'm just going to record it now, because this is real. This is like how I feel right now. And this is the time to do it, and I'm doing it. So I'm literally right now going to make some tea. So what you're about to hear is me walking into my kitchen, making some tea. Let me get a cup here, and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to spill whatever comes to mind, I guess. So this is going to be the Storyteller EP. I think what I'm going to do though is play you some songs as well. Either I'm going to record them. Pardon me, I had to open that with my teeth. I'm either going to record them on my phone, just, like this, or I'm going to actually record them and put them on with this download. However, I wanted the majority of it to be just me talking, because I thought you guys would appreciate that, because it's just something that I love to do. I wish I could do it all the time. I mean, I guess I could, but I love just talking. I feel like that's how you get to know me. That's how I don't know. That's my best way of getting to know you, And I want you, just like wherever you are listening to this, whatever you're going through, anything, because I know we're always, all of us always have something that's on, our mind is trying to like, draw our attention to. I just want you to like think about whatever it is, and just like realize it's okay. And for the rest of this duration of this recording, that you just don't worry about it, because it's going to be there when you're done. If you have any worries on your mind or anything, just like let them go and just like relax, okay? Because I really just want you guys, I want you to relax and just feel cozy when you listen to this. I just made my tea, so I'm going to go sit on my couch maybe I'll go sit in my studio. I'm going to go sit in my studio because my cat's in there, so. All right, here we go. Let me just move my computer. Okay. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about my life. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, some of my story, and I guess the story never really stops. It's always kind of going. And we grow every day. We're not the same person as we were, 5 minutes ago. We're always changing, and that's the beautiful part about nature, But I think sometimes we get locked in this like prison of our mind. We just like always feel like something's wrong, or like we're worried about something, and we're scared of something, or like, I don't know, we're unsure. And we have little moments where we're completely sure of ourselves, and like we know where we're going and what we're doing. But I think a lot of times, those moments are like few and far between for a lot of us, and it really takes effort to stay in that bubble. Let me just take a sip of this tea real quick. That is delicious. Kind of tastes like strawberries a little bit. So I guess I want to just tell you guys how I'm feeling right now at this moment, how I've been feeling, kind of what led me to this point. So I've told the small version of this story, a lot of times at my shows and in podcasts and whatever. But I really want to dive a little bit deeper into why I started music and how I was able to, not even like, the logistics of how to build a career or whatever. It's not about that. I want to just kind of explain, if I can, a little bit more about me, or what I think I am. I'm just going to plug my phone in. Apologize if this is loud. I just don't want it to die mid-recording because that would be lame. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. She is plugged in. Okay. So I was obviously born. I was born at some point in time, and that's awesome. That's cool. I guess I hopefully fought pretty hard to get here, which in the first place, I think sometimes we forget. It's like, the science of it. There were like millions of other like potential yous that were all like racing to get here. And you won. Like, we fucking won. Sorry for the language. I might slip up and swear a few times here. I'm really trying to censor myself more, but I grew up in the, small town Canada, and like everyone swears here, especially being on tour and stuff. Like, it's just something. It's one of those things. I'm probably going to sidetrack myself a bunch of times, so just prepare. It's just one of those things where it's kind of the whole thing, I don't know if you guys ever went through this, but it's like you come in, you're wearing a beanie, you're wearing like a hat, and it's dinner time, and your parents are like, please don't wear your hat at the dinner table. And then you take it off and you sit down. But then I was always like, wait a minute, why? Like, can you tell me why? Why can't I wear it? And they would just say, well, just don't wear it. It's disrespectful. And I would say, like, okay, but why? Why is it disrespectful? There's not really an answer. And it's the same with bad words, I think, to me, and that's why I've always kind of not really cared. Anyway, I'm not telling you to swear. Don't whatever works for you. I'm just saying it's not really been a big deal to me. So anyway, that was my apology if I swear during this. Okay, so I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in like a place called Lindsay, Ontario. You can Google it on a map. It's pretty small. It's really out there. And I went to I don't know. I had a lot of just like stuff going on with my family. When I was very little, like there's a lot of stuff I still don't understand to this day, but also don't really want to ask about because it's like it's in the past. I don't really want to know. But really, from the moment I can like remember existing, my family's always been broken. It's always been messed up. It's always been all over the place. Like, I've always kind of been the mediator, And so I went through a lot of like uncertainty when I was a kid. I went through a lot of like fear of like, I don't know, like, if, my parents are going to be together tomorrow or not. Or I don't know, like, if my sister's going to be at home or not. Like, just things like that, Like, I was just always, like, in fear of, like, losing people. Because that was just what I was used to. And, I went to this Christian school called Heritage Christian School for, honestly, I think 9 years of my life. And I'm not religious anymore, I was just raised that way. And I'm thankful for it because it was a great perspective to get. But... so I don't know. I don't really know what that has relevance, if that has relevance. But anyway, so I think it does, because actually, you know, at that school, a lot of the other families didn't have the problem that mine did. And so I always kind of felt like I was like this like outcast a little bit. I was like, I made friends there, obviously, and I'm sure people had their problems, but everyone kind of tried to put on this like perfect family kind of vibe, you know? And I didn't have that, and I was so embarrassed about that, you know? And like, so I just always had this, I had a lot of insecurity from a young age, you know, kind of built into me. So here's kind of circling it back to like being in the mind prison. You know, how do I word this properly? We don't come into the world with these things, you know, these things impress themselves upon us, you know, and shape our character. So it's like, if I didn't have all that uncertainty and like feelings of insecurity, like I wouldn't have that still, you know what I mean? It's like that wouldn't exist in me if those situations that I went through and the circumstances I was put in were different. So that's kind of throughout this whole thing. I just want you to remember, like, if you are feeling anything like that now, just remember that you didn't bring that into the world with you. You didn't bring any of your problems, any of your fears, anything into the world with you. So you just have to remember that as much as they feel like they're a part of you sometimes, because I still like catch myself like struggling with the same things, like it's something that I feel insecure about now or whatever, like will mirror like, oh, it must be caused by something that happened way back in the day. So I think they're entangled in us, but they're not us, you know, they're separate things that latch on and, you know, make us act a certain way. So that's kind of something I discovered later in my life, obviously. So where was I? So I went through that for a long time, and I don't know. So, and I know a lot of you guys can relate, you know, to that, just like fear of like, you don't have that comfort at home, you know, and it's like, I don't know. It sucks. It's hard to deal with when you're in the moment, you know, it really is. Like, it's hard to know what to do. And so for me, it was like, I didn't have a car. I didn't have a job. I was too young. Like I had to just do whatever, you know, like I had to roll with it because I could not, there was nothing I could do about it. So, you know, I went on and whatever, lived through that. Like I found some friends and whatever in my school. And then I got into high school, and right before high school, I think, is really when I kind of discovered music. You know, I had taken guitar lessons and stuff. Well, actually, the first time that I really fell in love with guitar, and this was like a huge moment because it was like a literal light in the darkness for me. You know, it was just like I remember I can't remember what grade I was in. I think it was in like grade 3 or 4, like really young. And my teacher at the time, she came in and she would play like hymns, like Christian songs for us, like every Friday on her acoustic guitar. And as soon as I heard that, and I would just watch her like move her fingers and play the chords, I was like so intrigued. I was like, holy shit, like I want to do that. I need to do that. It just is so beautiful. So I was like, hey mom, you know, can I please take guitar lessons and stuff? You know, I really wanted to do that. And it was the first thing for me that I really was like, I had my mind on, you know. And she, you know, my parents, I think, you know, we're going through some like tough like financial stuff during that time and everything. So it was, you know, it wasn't something I was like comfortable asking, but I did. And because I really cared about it. And thankfully, like, you know, someone that I knew like let me borrow their guitar. It was an electric guitar, but still it was a guitar. I started taking lessons once a week, and you know, so on and so forth, whatever. And I would just spend, like, it was my first time having something that I could just run to, you know, like I would just sit in my room for hours and just play guitar, and like it just made me happy because it disconnected my mind from all like this bullshit that was going on in my life. And it was like that's all I could think about all day. It was just like, oh man, I want to go home and play guitar. I want to go home and like just work on this little song. Like, you know, I didn't know, like back then I could only play like little things and whatever, but you know, it just progressed and like became more a part of like, this is my friend, you know, like this guitar, like this music, whatever this is my friend. And like being able to create that is my friend. And it's like, it helps me, you know, this, whatever energy comes from this, whatever spirit is in this music, like it helps me, and it helped me get through like depression and, you know, fear and everything. So anyway, I get into high school, and it's still, you know, I didn't have like any friends when I started because everybody went their separate ways from my old school. And I had a fun time because there was more freedom in high school than my elementary school, whatever. But still, I was just like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, school is kind of lame because it's just like, it just never resonated with me. You know, it just never like felt like, how is this okay? Like, I don't know. Like, down to like how the lights make you feel. Like when you walk into the classroom and sit, like the lights are so bright and just this shitty color. And it just made me feel so tired and drained. And like, I know so many other kids felt like that too. And like, I know everybody struggles in school, but I was always just like, man, like we're literally in a box, like not just physically, but like mentally. And I'm never like one to say like, oh, school sucks, because I know for some people it's what they enjoy, it's what they want, and that's great. Like they're totally awesome. But it's more like I had so many friends who were creative people. Like I ended up making friends, with all the music kids and the artistic kids and stuff, because that was what I was drawn to. But who ended up not doing what they wanted because there's such this strong like system in place. Like, hey, you have to pick this. You have A, B, and C options, and you have to pick one, and that's it. And you got to make money and shit. And man, it was just like I remember like I started to see that, and as I started to get closer to like my next year, I was like, man, that's coming up for me. Like they're gonna make me feel like I need to pick. And I got to that point. I was sitting in an office with my guidance counselor or whatever, and I was like, she didn't even know me, and I was just, I had played at coffee shops at my high school. I would take any opportunity that I could, because it was at that point, like I had started like playing my own, like I got an acoustic guitar finally. I saved up. I'm kind of all over the place with this story, but I'm just trying to kind of get everything in. So, I basically hit a point where they were like, hey, you have to pick one, and I'll get to that in a minute. Let me save that, because I need to tell a little bit more before. So I saved up for my first acoustic guitar. It was about $100. Because I got into like Secondhand Serenade was like the first acoustic artist that I got into, and I was like, holy shit, like I need to get an acoustic. And I started to learn his music. I could play like almost all his songs. I learned them. And that's, I think, where a lot of my chords still come from, like that. Like I call it the emo chords, So I started listening to his stuff, and that's kind of when I got into like the alternative stuff, like the emo stuff, like Never Shout Never, and the Icarus Account, Chase Coy, Mayday Pray, like who else? I'm trying to think of who else. Like Lights, Bit of My Chemical Romance, who else? Like Gregory and the Hawk, like just like a bunch of like those really like acoustic emo. Oh, like the Scene Aesthetic, stuff like that. Owl City. I'm trying to just like name them all, but anyway, like you guys know what I'm talking about, like those kind of bands. And that's kind of where it's like, okay, I'm drawn to this scene. Like this is kind of and then I discovered like Warped Tour, and like I discovered all that stuff that I didn't know about until I was like in grade 9 or 10. I had never gone, or like whatever. I hadn't really even gone to concerts. Forgot I had that tea there. So anyway, so I started to kind of discover like, oh man, like there's actually like a scene for like the music that I'm listening to, and like I started to write a little bit, like the stuff I wrote back in the day was like, I listen to it now and I'm like, man, like I wouldn't put it out now, but like, it was super emo and super like in that vein. And, as I started to write more and more, I was just like, man, like I didn't even know that people could do this for a living. Like I remember I found like a website called Pure Volume, and MySpace. Like I kind of got the internet right after MySpace. So anyway, I just found like all these other people who were like doing what I did, but like on a bigger scale. Like they're actually playing to crowds. They had like hundreds and thousands of spins on their music online and stuff. And I was like, man, like I want to do this. Like, but it was the whole struggle between like I want to do this, but there's no like. In my school where I'm at, there's no option for this. It's like, how do I tell someone like, oh, this is what I want to do? I want to play Warped Tour. Oh, I want to have like 1 million views on a song. I want to have merch, like how do I tell my guidance counselor that, like, who I don't even know? How do I tell my parents that? How do I tell my friends that? Like, I didn't know. All I knew was like, I want this. As soon as I found it, I was like, I want this. I need this, but I don't know how to get it. So anyway, that's kind of where that sparked for me. And then the more I did it, so basically what happened one day is I got a job at a grocery store, okay? And I didn't like it, but it's like that. I was like, I need to save money to get, some recording gear. So I saved up, got my first recording gear, recorded some demos. Just like I would spend every night just recording, like. And I think that's part of the reason that I can sing on pitch very well is because I didn't have a computer. Like I didn't have any software. It was just like it was just like its own console. So like I did all the recording stuff like on a separate like machine, and I didn't have auto-tune or anything. So I had to like sing until it sounded good enough. And I didn't start recording on a computer till like 4 or 5 years after I actually, got my first recording gear. So anyway, I put a couple of my songs on YouTube and on Facebook, and I remember this is the day where I knew that that there was something. And this was crazy because I never wrote music. I still don't. I mean, maybe subconsciously now I do. I just wanted to give you guys some backstory because I want to end up at a certain place. But I never wrote. Basically, Say We Can Fly was the name of a YouTube. Like, I was like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to think of a name that sounds like emo. It sounds like whatever, like how I felt at the time. So I was like, oh, Say We Can Fly is not taken. It sounds cool. So I named it Say We Can Fly, and then, I posted a few of my demos. And so I walked in to my first period class one day, and this girl named Emily, who I'm sure she'll never hear this, but she, what she had done is, like, I walked in, I was late, and I walk in, and almost the whole class, like, as far as I remember, was sitting around this little CD player listening to one of my songs. And she had, like, burned it to a CD and brought it in. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I was so, like, embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, like, what is happening right now? Because I didn't want anyone to, like, really, people I went to school with, like, I didn't, I was just really awkward and stuff. And everyone was like, holy shit, like, this is really good. Like, everyone loved it, which is literally the reason that I kept doing it. So it was like that tiny group of people, that tiny, like, spark of, like, people liked it, people understood it, and that was all I needed to be like, okay, like, this can happen again, and so long story short, I kept just doing that. I kept writing and putting music on, and, like, I would get all my friends to come to the coffee houses, and, like, more and more people would come every time. And it was like, holy shit, like, I'm just writing about things that I'm going through. I'm just writing about, like, being depressed and, like, being lonely and being in love and, like, liking a girl, like, but everyone, like, was understanding it, I mean, obviously there were some people who didn't like it and, like, made fun of me and shit, but, like, that ended up not mattering because, like, there was people that really connected to it. And the reason I think that they did, and I think that everyone still does, is because I just write about what I go, like, as a human being, like, as a person who's still trying to understand his own life. And, I don't think I'll ever understand. I don't think any of us will, but that's okay. I'm always asking questions, and I think that's why people gravitate toward it. And that's kind of how it started. It just started on a very small scale, and it's just like, I ended up finally to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to, there's no path that makes sense to me other than, like, I need to play music and I need to whatever. So I dropped out. I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm done. Like, it was a hard decision because everyone was telling me not to, obviously, and I know a lot of people. I've gotten so many messages on Twitter and just in-person conversations, like, yo, I want to drop out. I don't want to be here. But everyone makes me feel like I need to. And it's like, it's so hard to have the guts to stand up, especially at that time in your life where you're unsure and you're not sure still. And you feel like you need, to listen to everyone. Anyway, I'm so thankful I did that because I started using social media more and, the rest is history, just started building a fan base, learned how to do it. But the whole basis of it has always been connecting to everyone. And, like, I find sometimes what I struggle with now is, like, that the fact that there's so many people that listen to my music now and, like, are on my Twitter and on my Facebook and, like, all that stuff. It's hard to, like, sometimes for me to find that, like, that's why I'm so excited for the Storyteller Tour, kind of coming back full circle, is I want to bring that back. I want to bring that, what I just told you, all that stuff, I want to bring back. And I want to bring that to, to as many places in the world as I can, because not only, does it, do something for you and do something for whoever's listening to the music, it does this exact same thing for me. That's such a special moment of, like, whether I know you or not, whether I know what you've been through in life or not, like, the fact, like, in that moment when I'm playing that song and you're standing there, sitting there and, like, singing or just listening, like, that we are, like, connecting. And I'm thinking the whole time, holy shit, there's humans that, like, understand what I'm going through. And I know you're thinking the same thing. And that's why it's so beautiful. That's why I have to do this, because I need that. I'm a very lonely person, like, I have that, like, that's why I always feel so, like, attracted to, like, the moon and to wolves and to water. I just feel so, like, I have that spirit of, like, I'm always going to be searching for something. I'm always going to be, like, deep down, like, alone. But I need to be in order to do what I do, and I need to be in order to to write and I need to adventure. I need to, I have that spirit. And so I can't stay in one place for too long. I can't like be tied down. Like I just can't. It's not who I am. It's not. And I know for a fact so many of you, and I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you probably feel the same. You probably feel the same way. You probably feel that exact spark that you have, but you feel like people are trying to put it out. People are trying to stop your flame from growing. And the scary part is that you can, that flame can go out. I don't think you ever lose it, but it can go out to the point where you can't see it anymore. And that's why I think I don't know. I think this tour to me is more important than just playing music, and making money and like selling merchandise and like traveling. It's not really about that. It's all the shit that's happening in the world right now, where humanity is right now, where the energy of the earth is right now. Like it needs to go the other way. And that spark that you feel, that like purity that you feel, because I know for a fact, if you connect to my music, you're a good person. And I'm not saying that to sound like conceited or whatever. Like, honestly, I know the kind of people that connect to my music. And if you like, they're, I don't know. It's just, this is hard to word. I just want you to know, like, that spark, that feeling of like passion, that feeling of like something's wrong in the world. Cause I know you feel that. I feel that all the time. And it is. I mean, obviously it is. It's just sometimes you don't understand, like, why can't everyone just love each other? Why can't everyone just chill out for a minute and like have a conversation? Why is there so much like violence and hatred? Because that's not us. That's not you. Like that's not what's right. You know that. I just want you to know that like I share that, and like there are so many good people in the world that share that. And I want you to know like the point of life is to express yourself. The point of life is to create, to leave something behind. To connect with other humans, to find the other people that are as passionate and like full of love and as, adventurous as you are, and just like not be tied down by, literally a made up system of rules. Like it's literally completely fabricated. It's made up and we're taught to believe it. So it becomes a fact, but nothing is a fact. Nothing, like it's, I don't know. It's just like we limit ourselves, and that's what coming back to like the mind, the prison of the mind, like everything in your life reflects what you believe. Everything in your life reflects, what you have inside, that's the truth. And I've learned that. And I've also learned that, whatever you think about, you bring about, and it's very like a literal simple like law of like a scientific law of the universe. Every thought that you have, every feeling you have has a frequency. It really like does. Everything is vibrating all the time. Everything has its own frequency. And you'll find that the more you focus on negative things, the more you're going to find negative things. And if you find a patch where you can really feel joy and feel love and feel positivity and excitement, as long as you don't start doubting yourself, you're going to find more of that. And you have to be conscious of that. You have to be conscious of how other people make you feel. Because the moment somebody stomps on you and says, no, like you can't do what you want. You can't. It's literally like stomping on a flower and not letting it grow. That's literally what it is. Because think about this. A flower, its whole goal is to grow and to just to like be free and open up and like absorb sunlight and absorb and just like be free. It doesn't ever question like, oh, how am I going to grow? How am I going to do it? It just does it. It just flows and lets the universe take care of it and lets nature do its thing, and everything in nature just does that, and because we have consciousness, because we're able to think, because we're able to make decisions and doubt ourselves, we have a mind, we have an ego, we resist that nature. And that's the reason that shit goes wrong in our lives, because we're resisting, we're pushing against it, and we don't even realize it. Like as soon as you get scared of not being able to achieve something, you're literally directing yourself in that direction. You're pulling the thought of not achieving it or not getting there, and that's what you're holding in your mind, and that's what you're seeing. You have to literally look through that at the world, and that's why everything feels dark, and that's what like you're moving toward that thought, because I don't know. I really believe that all of us come from the same place. We're made of the same thing. I think we're all kind of lost now. And we have to just, I want to be here for you, you know, and as much as I wish I could reply to every message and every tweet and everything, like, if I spend all my time doing that, I'm not going to be able to offer you what I need to offer you. But I want you to know, like, even if we never like become close friends or whatever, like, I am here for you. I'm here always, you know, like, I feel the same thing you feel. You know, I'm searching for the same thing. I'm trying to figure out how to make the world better. I'm trying to figure out how to do my part in the best way. I'm trying to get over my fears and my insecurities. I'm every day trying to, just be mindful and not let, I'm just trying to be the best me I can be. And that's all we can do. But I guess what I want to say is just don't ever let anyone make you believe you can't do something. Don't ever let anyone make you believe that you are, only worth what they think you are. Because it's not true. And I'm telling you right now, you have as much power as any of the greatest human beings that ever lived. You have the power of the ocean, of the stars, everything, because we exist, we all everything, we exist together, and the only reason that we feel like we don't have that is because we limit ourselves and we believe that we have these limitations, that we don't have, we just don't. Like, it's just become a fact in our minds because we repeat the thought so many times and over again, and we're told it over and over again. But you just got to prove them wrong. You've got to show people, because some people can't understand in words. You have to show people through action. And I don't know. I want to say there's one other thing I want to say. Is that the only reason that anyone will ever, I don't care what anyone says, the only reason that anyone ever will make you feel worthless, will make you feel, scared, will make you feel, like you're not capable of something or put you down, is because that is exactly how they feel about their own lives. That is the only reason. Because if you're full of joy, like, think about this. If there's been a time where you're happy, like, you're genuinely happy with yourself, like, because I know for a fact, no matter how, whatever's off in your life, you've had a moment where you've been like, man, I love myself right now. I love my life right now. There's no way that you can feel that way and put someone down. You can't. It's just not possible. And if you do, you're not going to mean it. But how easy is it when you don't feel that way, when you feel the opposite, to see somebody who's doing better than you and want to, like, get jealous and make them feel like, make yourself feel better by trying to make them feel less, And I'm just saying that's the only reason that people do that. I don't care if they're your teacher, your parent, your friend, your brother. I don't care. That's the only reason. Okay, and I just want you to know that. And next time someone makes you feel that way, if they do, maybe some of you guys are super lucky with, people who are super supportive of exactly what you want, which is amazing. But I think if you're really in it for the long haul and you're, the kind of person that I know you are, you're going to have rough patches in your life. You're meant to have, a rocky road, because you don't grow without that. You don't become who you need to be. You don't truly walk the journey without going through a lot of pain and a lot of, confusion and frustration. You need that in order to fulfill yourself. You need that in order to grow, in order to have inspiration, motivation, So, wow, that was, oh man, I hope that was a good story, guys. But, I guess coming back around, I'm sitting in my studio right now on my couch, and I'm in a little house. I call it my cabin. And this is something that I've thought about for years and years, is having this house, having my own place, my own little studio. And I worked my ass off to get here. And that wouldn't have happened if I had said, no, I'll just go to college. I'll just, keep working at the grocery store. I'll just give up on music. I wouldn't be here. And, I started Saving Flight, man, almost 10 years ago. It's been about, it was 2009. Almost 10 years ago. I'd say about 8 years. So it's like, man, I'm just getting started now. It's like I went through all that shit. Like I went through all those moments of doubt, and I still go through them. But it's like I'm here now, and it's like if I hadn't started, I wouldn't be here now. It's like, yeah, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Like, it doesn't matter. What matters is the passion you have, the drive that you have, and the goals that you have, because those are what are going to carry you. And it's not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about any of those things. Those are all a byproduct of doing the right thing and doing, you know, what you love and doing and being you. Because that's what people connect with, you know? That's what people connect with. And so I guess, wow, I'm leaving for this tour soon, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this recording. I just thought it'd be a cool thing to do instead of just like a traditional EP. I felt like I want to put a little piece of me in a time capsule, you know, right now, and just share what I felt with you. And I guess there was shit there because I just talked for half an hour and didn't plan it at all, you know. But just be thankful, you know. Be thankful you're alive. Be thankful that you're alive, because that's the coolest shit in the world. That's cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, you could not be, and you wouldn't get to experience any of this. And this is cool. Like, I don't care what way you look at it. Like, being inside a universe that we just don't understand, and like being able to pretty much do whatever you want, you know, and like think about whatever you want. Like, that's crazy. You know, just look at like an ocean, or like look at like, I don't know, look at something in your room. Just be like, man, that actually exists right now. Like, I can touch this wall right now. You know, it's like you're listening to me touch a wall. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I can feel this. Like, we get so caught up in our minds, you know, and it's tough to get out sometimes. It really is. But it's important to stay a little bit disconnected from reality. It's important to stay a little bit disconnected from the things that hold you down. And if you feel like you're different, you know, than your parents or your family or whatever, like, you know, I'm not saying that everyone has a bad home life, because that's not my point. But I'm just saying if there's things in your life that are weighing you down, just disconnect, you know, meditate a little bit, you know, literally sit there and close your eyes, just breathe, and just like empty your mind, you know, just disconnect and like be mindful, appreciate little things, you know, like, because everything's okay. Everything is okay in the moment, whatever moment you're in. Like, everything is okay. The only reason anything becomes not okay is when we resist it. You know? It's like, even if you're sad, if you just are just like, man, okay, I'm sad, like, whatever. How can it be a problem if you just accept it, you know? Like, it's like, what if I felt sad right now? And I was just like, I feel sad. Okay, cool. Like, cool, I feel sad. Like, it's not a problem. But if I'm like, oh man, I feel sad, I don't want to feel sad, I don't want to feel sad. That resistance of the emotion is what is making it a problem and making it a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope it does. So just remember, everything's always okay. And when you get caught up in your mind, you start convincing yourself that everything sucks and like everything's falling apart. You're going to bring that, and you have to realize that's all made up. You know, that's all irrational. That's all fear. And excuse me, sorry. We all go through moments of it. But it's okay. Everything's okay, guys. All right? I love you. I love you guys. I don't know all of you personally, but I know we come from the same spot. You know, I know somehow we're all connected, and you can feel me, you know, through this, and I can feel you, you know, every day through my music. And that's why, you know, you guys, I don't know, you guys really, like, truly just keep me going. Like, it gave me a purpose, you know? It's just like, I want you guys to feel safe. I want you guys to realize we're all together in this. How much power we actually have together is insane. It's stronger than anything. And we need to all realize that. You know, let me just say a few more things here. That's why when I played Warped Tour I've played it a few times. Like, I did, you know, 2015, I did the full thing. 2016, I did half. But what blows my mind is all the shit that goes on in the world is going on in the world right now. And how many people, there's like 5 to 15,000 people every single day, usually around 10,000 people. And all these bands who these kids look up to, and I'm not saying anything to badmouth any of the bands at all, that's not my point. But it's just like, man, there's so many people that are all like just there because they're broken and like just need to feel like they belong somewhere. I mean, I think that's the majority the main reason people go to concerts is to disconnect and like feel feel okay for a minute. And it's like, why do we not realize like that, man, all of that energy, all of that, like that platform that should be just used to like talk about things like this, talk about like, yo, everything's cool. Like we're all together on this. I just feel like things should be less about money and less about tickets and less about all that bullshit, which is so easy to get caught up in as an artist. It's so easy, and I have to like keep my mind out of there too. But it should be directed towards like, let's actually like use music, because it's probably one of the most powerful platforms in the entire world as a remedy for all the shit that's going on in the world right now, all the violence, all the hate. Why don't we try to sway the consciousness of the planet with the platform we have, with the amount of people we have, with the power that we have, And I think we're all kind of doing that in our own little way, but it's just like, why don't we actually all come together, instead of just the volume of people who are at that festival, Warped Tour. And I know there's other ones and other concerts, but it's just like, to me, that's my biggest one that I've played. And it's just like, there's enough people and mind power to actually probably make like a huge, huge difference in the world. Like we could, if we all put our minds together, but it's always a competition, And I feel like it's not a competition, but it is, I think, subconsciously. It's just like, oh, my band's bigger, this band's bigger. It's just like, fuck all that. We're here for the same reason. I don't care like how much, how many albums you've sold or like how big your production is. Like, fuck, who cares? It's not about that. It's about you're playing songs that you wrote, and people are listening because they connect to it. And that's actually what matters. And that's the power. So anyway, sorry, God, oh man, I feel like just rambled, went on a little rant there. But I just want to connect with you guys. I want to connect, because I lost that a lot last year too, with a lot of stuff that I went through personally. And I didn't guard my heart, I didn't guard my mind, and I got lost. And I found it again, which is awesome. And I went through so much, and I didn't know if I was going to come back from it, but I did. And that's why I'm so excited for this tour, because it's just like, it's happening at the perfect time. I need this right now. And I don't know. I really am excited. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope that made sense to some of you. I'm sure it did. And yeah, thank you. I love you guys. I love all of you. I love you listening to this. Whatever your name is, whoever you are, wherever you're from, I love you. And you're amazing. And please don't ever just do what feels right. Do what feels good to you. Guard your heart, guard your mind, and stay focused on your passion. Create, express. That's what you should do. And yeah, you know what? I want to just put a little disclaimer in here at the end. One, I guess I could say spiritual teacher, I guess, that really helped me, that has been a huge mentor. His name's Eric Pepin. And if you Google, I think you can find it on YouTube. I want you to do this if you can. It's called Rebel Guru, REBEL space GURU radio. It's Rebel Guru Radio. It's a podcast. It's free. And it honestly, he talks about like all this stuff. He talks about so much incredible stuff. And I really think a lot of you would probably really like it. Higher Balance Institute is his like organization. And if you guys can get a chance, please write that down. Check it out. Rebel Guru Radio. You can also find it on like iTunes, like the podcast. It's all free. But please listen to those, because I think if you're feeling lost at all, if you're feeling like, I don't know, a little, maybe like you're searching for something and you don't know what it is, and like, I just please listen to that stuff, because I think sometimes you just need to hear somebody speak about it to be like, okay, this is how I feel. This is okay. Like, there are other people who feel this way. So anyway, if you guys get a chance, Rebel Guru Radio, it's incredible. It's free. You should listen. So anyway, I guess I'm going to end this now, because it's almost been an hour. This is awesome. Yeah, just stay cozy, guys. Stay cozy, and remember you're loved, you're cared about, and you matter. And yeah, this tour is going to be awesome, and I hope it was awesome because for you listening to this now. Because that was my goal. So that's my goal now. So be putting out new music soon. Hoping July to start working on my next album. I'm independent again, which is amazing. I am so pumped to be independent musician again. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a whole new chapter, and I've been working out, been, practicing, singing a lot. Like, I've just been trying to get my body in the best shape that I can, my mind, because I want to be there for everyone when I'm on the road. So anyway, I'm going to be working on new stuff. So thank you so much for following me. And it was nice to meet you, which I hope that I did if you're listening to this, because I'm hoping to meet everybody. So anyway, I guess I will talk to you later, and I will be putting out more music. Feel free to tweet me, I got on there as much as I can. Sign up for my email list. I try to send one out a couple times a month, which I think you probably would have had to sign up in order to get this, because that's my plan for how I'm gonna do it. So anyway, okay, well, I hope that you have a pleasant evening or morning or day or whatever, second breakfast, whatever you are, if you're in the Shire, if you're a hobbit, which I wish that I was. I hope that you enjoyed listening to this, and maybe you fell asleep to it, which is awesome, because your subconscious is still hearing this right now. So, all right, guys. All right. No, I'm not going to say guys, because I know it's you. All right, you, whatever your name is, I love you. Stay cozy. Thanks for listening. Feel free to share this with your friends if you want. It's totally cool. Like, it's not just for people who came to the shows. It's going to make more sense to you probably, but share it, post it, put it on Pirate Bay, put it on YouTube, whatever. Go for it, because that's the whole point. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna end this. It's hard to say bye, It's like, the worst is when you say bye to somebody and then you have to walk in the same direction. You feel me? It sucks. It's so awkward. Okay. Well, you know what? Actually, how about this? I'm probably gonna include a few songs. Anyway, my cat fell asleep as I was making this. Oh, she's so cute. I'm gonna include a few songs in this download anyway, but how would I just play you a song live on here, because I feel like that would kind of complete it really nicely. So I'm gonna play you a little tune. I'm gonna set my phone somewhere and try to decide. I didn't plan this, so I guess I'll just have to wing it here. Hopefully it sounds okay. How about this? I play, this is tough. I play the song, Shallow, which is a new one that I would have played at the show that you came to. And I wrote this song, it's a bit of, kind of a breakup, but also, like, the depth of, like, the human spirit, And I hope you enjoy it. I'm actually going to put out, like, a studio version at some point very soon. So. Take your time, don't be so shallow, 'cause shallow's a mess. You don't want just me. Speak your mind, don't breathe so shallow, 'cause shallow's a mess. You don't want just me. But if you still love me, just tell me you do, 'cause I'm here and I just wanna know, do you have what it takes to forget me this way? Are you tired, sleeping alone, or are you not alone? Maybe it's time that I go, 'cause I'm right in front of you, but you don't even notice how there's nothing left but your bones, and they're beautiful. Even though you're a ghost, you're still taking up most of my heart. goes, you're still taking up most of my heart. Save your time, just bleed. I am already a mess. You don't want trust me. Trust me, yeah. If you still love me, just tell me you do. 'Cause I'm here and I just wanna know, do you have what it takes to forget me this way? Are you tired of sleeping alone? Or are you not? Don't even notice how there's nothing left but your bones, and they're beautiful. Even though you're a ghost, you're still taking up most. Even though you're a ghost, you're still taking up most of my heart. Now I see there's nothing left in the water for me, so I'll dig and I'll dig till I find your bones. Till I find your bones. Maybe it's time that I go, 'cause I'm right in front of you. Oh, yeah, maybe it's time that I go, 'cause I'm right in front of you. But you don't even notice how there's nothing left but your bones, and they're beautiful. Even though you're a ghost, you're still taking up most of my heart. Most of my heart. Even though you're a ghost, you're still taking up most of my heart. Or are you not alone? Whew, man. That's one of those that just takes me somewhere else, you know? Just takes me somewhere else. It's one of those songs that I feel like I just didn't write, you know? Like I feel like that with most of my music. Like I don't really write it. It's already written and I just kind of have to allow it to create itself. But that's one of those songs that I'm just so excited to release. Like, and I have a studio version done that I did here, but like I want to wait to get it mixed properly by someone and shoot a video, just because it's like my favorite song I've ever written, and I just want to get it out in the world. But I want to wait to do it properly, and I want to use this tour to kind of ease people into it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I truly do. It means a lot that you did, and I know I tried to say goodbye a few times and it didn't work out, which is cool because I kind of wanted to make this about an hour long, so that works out. Well, thanks for listening, whoever you are, wherever you are, and I will speak to you soon. Remember that you're loved. Please just remember that you're loved, and I'm always right here. in good old Canada, doing my thing, and I'll be traveling the world, playing music, and hopefully I'll see you again. So until next time, my dear friend, thank you so much for everything, coming to the Storyteller Unplugged Tour and listening to this recording. And as always, stay cozy.